The Galactic Council, maintaining peace, fearing the enigma. In the vast expanse of the cosmos, a confederation of diverse alien civilizations had come together to form the Galactic Council. For centuries, this alliance had maintained a fragile but relatively stable peace, allowing for the exchange of knowledge, resources, and ideas among its member species. At the heart of the council sat the representatives of the most technologically advanced and culturally influential races. There was Styloth, the enigmatic leader of the Vothian Empire, whose shimmering carapace and mesmerizing gaze commanded respect. Beside him was Astra, the diplomatic matriarch of the Cerulean Concordate, her fluid movements belying a keen political mind. Completing the trinity was Zaire, the gruff but brilliant strategist from the Krath Dominion, his tentacles twitching with barely contained intensity. Together, this triumvirate and their fellow council members oversaw the delicate balance of power, resolving disputes, and charting the course for the continued prosperity of the galactic community. They had navigated their fair share of crises, from resource wars to cultural clashes, always emerging stronger and more united. However, a growing sense of unease had begun to permeate the council's chambers, for there existed one civilization that remained stubbornly aloof, refusing to engage with the rest of the galactic powers. This was the enigma known as humans, a technologically advanced species that had deliberately isolated themselves from the Council's sphere of influence. The humans, with their peculiar physiology and idiosyncratic behaviors, were a source of both fascination and trepidation for the Council members. Their penchant for innovation, coupled with an apparent disregard for established norms, made them an unpredictable wild card in the carefully orchestrated galactic landscape. They are a threat to the stability we have worked so hard to maintain. Xyloth rumbled, his deep voice reverberating through the council's chamber. Their unpredictable nature and disregard for our established order could unravel everything we have built. Astra raised a delicate hand, her scales shimmering in the ambient light. I agree that the humans are a concern, but we must tread carefully. Their isolation suggests a desire for privacy, not necessarily aggression. Perhaps there are ways we can engage them diplomatically, without escalating tensions. Zir's tentacles coiled and uncoiled, betraying his agitation. Diplomacy. Bah. The humans have had ample opportunity to join our ranks, and yet they have spurned us at every turn. We cannot afford to let this anomaly fester, lest it grow into a cancer that consumes us all. The debate raged on, the council members weighing the pros and cons of various courses of action. Some advocated for a more cautious diplomatic approach, while others argued for a decisive preemptive strike against the humans. As the discussions intensified, a sense of unease began to permeate the chamber. The once harmonious council found itself increasingly divided, the threat of the humans serving as a catalyst for latent tensions and power struggles. Finally, Xyloth raised a silencing hand, his piercing gaze sweeping across the assembled representatives. It is clear that we cannot allow this situation to continue. The humans pose a grave risk to the stability and security of the Galactic Council. We must act, and we must act swiftly. The other council members fell silent, sensing the gravity of Xyloth's words. Astra's scales darkened, a subtle sign of her growing concern, while Zir's tentacles coiled tighter, his anticipation palpable. We will dispatch a diplomatic envoy to the human homeworld, Xyloth declared, his tone brooking no argument. If they refuse to cooperate and align themselves with the Council, then we shall be left with no choice but to eliminate the threat they pose. The air in the chamber grew thick with tension as the council members grappled with the weight of the decision. For in their quest to maintain the delicate balance of the galaxy, they were now contemplating an action that could forever alter the course of history. As the meeting drew to a close, the representatives filed out, their minds consumed by the looming specter of the humans and the uncertain future that lay ahead. The once tranquil halls of the Galactic Council now echoed with the whispers of a storm on the horizon, a storm that would test the very foundations of their cooperative existence. The reclusive humans, guarding their secrets. While the Galactic Council deliberated on the perceived threat posed by the human civilization itself remained shrouded in mystery. Located on a distant, isolated planet, the humans had purposefully distanced themselves from the rest of the galactic community, their motives and capabilities largely unknown to the other species. At the heart of the human civilization was the High Council, a governing body composed of the most influential and respected individuals from diverse backgrounds. These were the guardians of human society, tasked with ensuring the survival and prosperity of their people in an increasingly complex and interconnected galaxy. Leading the High Council was Mara, a brilliant and resolute woman whose unwavering commitment to the human way of life was matched only by her keen strategic mind. Her piercing gaze and unwavering composure had become the face of the human resistance to outside interference, a bulwark against the encroaching influence of the Galactic Council. Mara and her fellow council members were well aware of the growing interest the other species had in their civilization. They had observed the Galactic Council's attempts to establish diplomatic ties, only to be met with polite but firm refusals. The humans valued their independence and privacy above all else, unwilling to surrender their autonomy to a larger governing body. The Galactic Council represents a threat to our way of life, Mara declared during a meeting of the High Council. They seek to assimilate us into their structures, to curtail our freedom and impose their will upon us. We cannot allow this to happen. The other council members murmured in agreement, their expressions grim. They knew that the Galactic Council's patience would not last forever, and that they would soon be forced to confront the growing pressure to conform. We must be prepared, Mara continued, her voice steady and resolute. Our technological capabilities, while advanced, are still a closely guarded secret. We cannot afford to reveal the full extent of our knowledge and resources to the Galactic Council, lest they seek to exploit or control us. The council members nodded, understanding the gravity of the situation. They had long ago made the decision to isolate themselves, to hide their most precious technologies and abilities from the prying eyes of the galactic community. This self-imposed exile had come at a cost, but it had also allowed the humans to develop and refine their civilization without external interference. We must be vigilant, Mara said, her gaze sweeping across the assembled council members. The Galactic Council will not rest until they have brought us into their fold. We must be prepared to defend our way of life, by any means necessary. The council members voiced their agreement, their resolve hardening in the face of the impending threat. They knew that the Galactic Council would not back down easily, and that the fate of their civilization hung in the balance. As the meeting drew to a close, Mara stood, her posture tall and commanding. We have weathered many storms in our history, and we shall weather this one as well. The humans have endured, and we shall endure again. No matter what the Galactic Council throws at us, we will not surrender our freedom. The other council members rose, their applause echoing through the chamber. In that moment, the humans stood united, their determination and pride shining through. They were no longer the reclusive, enigmatic civilization that the Galactic Council sought to control. They were a people ready to defend their way of life, no matter the cost. Outside the walls of the High Council's chambers, the gears of fate began to turn, setting in motion a chain of events that would forever alter the course of the galaxy. The humans, once thought to be a mere curiosity, were about to awaken a force that the Galactic Council could never have anticipated. The Galactic Council's fateful decision. The Galactic Council chambers were filled with a tense silence as the representatives from the various alien civilizations contemplated their next move regarding the humans. The decision they were about to make would have far-reaching consequences for the stability of the entire galactic community. Diloth, the stern leader of the Vothian Empire, stood at the center of the circular chamber, his carapace gleaming in the dim light. The time has come to address the human problem, he declared, his deep voice commanding the attention of all present. Astra, the diplomatic matriarch of the Cerulean Concordate, shifted uncomfortably in her seat. "I understand your concerns, Siloth, but we must proceed with caution. The humans have made it clear they wish to be left alone. Aggressive action could provoke an unpredictable response, one that could destabilize the delicate balance we have maintained for centuries." Zur, the gruff strategist from the Krath Dominion, slammed his tentacles against the table, the sound echoing through the chamber. "Caution. Bah. The humans are a threat to our way of life, and we cannot afford to ignore them any longer. Their isolation and disregard for our established order is a cancer that must be excised before it spreads." The debate raged on, with each representative voicing their concerns and proposals. Some argued for a diplomatic approach, suggesting that the Council should make one last attempt to engage the humans and bring them into the fold. Others, like Zaire, advocated for a more forceful solution, calling for a preemptive strike to eliminate the human threat once and for all. As the discussion continued, a faction of more extremist council members began to emerge, led by the fiery Zul, a ruthless commander from the Thulian hegemony. "The time for diplomacy has passed," Zul growled, his eyes gleaming with barely contained aggression. "The humans have made their choice, and now they must face the consequences." Zul's words struck a chord with some of the more hawkish members of the council, who began to rally behind his call for decisive action. The tension in the chamber grew palpable, as the once united council found itself on the brink of a divisive schism. Astra raised a hand, her scales shimmering with a hint of concern. "We must not let our fears and prejudices cloud our judgment. The humans may be an enigma, but they have not shown any direct aggression towards us. Is it not our duty to seek understanding, rather than resort to violence?" Siloth's gaze hardened, and he shook his head slowly. "The humans' very existence is a threat to the stability we have worked so hard to maintain. Their isolationism and disregard for our established order cannot be tolerated. We must act, and we must act now, before they have a chance to grow stronger and more entrenched." The chamber erupted into a cacophony of voices as the representatives argued passionately for their respective positions. The once harmonious council had become a battleground of competing ideologies, each faction convinced of the righteousness of their cause. Finally, Tyloth raised a silencing hand, his gaze sweeping across the assembled members. "It is time to put this matter to a vote. The fate of the Galactic Council, and perhaps the entire galaxy, hangs in the balance." The tension in the chamber was palpable as the representatives cast their votes, their faces etched with a mixture of determination and trepidation. When the final tally was announced, a hush fell over the council, the gravity of their decision weighing heavily upon them. Siloth's voice cut through the silence, his words laden with a sense of finality. "It is decided. We will dispatch a diplomatic envoy to the human homeworld, with the understanding that should they refuse to cooperate, we will be forced to take more decisive action." As the representatives filed out of the chamber, a sense of unease permeated the air. The Galactic Council had taken a fateful step, one that would forever change the course of history. The stage was set for a confrontation with the enigmatic humans, a clash that would test the very foundations of the galactic order. The humans awaken, an ancient power unveiled. Mara, the steadfast leader of the human High Council, paced the floor of the council chamber, her brow furrowed with concern. The news of the Galactic Council's decision to dispatch a diplomatic envoy had reached her ears, and she knew that the time for action had arrived. "They seek to control us, to bring us into their fold," Mara said, her voice laced with a hint of frustration. "We cannot allow this to happen. Our way of life, our very freedom, hangs in the balance." The other council members nodded in agreement, their expressions grave. They had long anticipated this moment, the moment when the Galactic Council would finally make its move against the humans, but they were not caught unprepared. "We must act quickly," Mara continued, her gaze sweeping across the assembled council. "The Galactic Council's envoy will be arriving soon, and we must be ready to greet them." The council members leaned forward, their attention focused on Mara's every word. They knew that their response to the Galactic Council's overtures would be pivotal, a make-or-break moment that could determine the fate of their civilization. For centuries, we have guarded a secret, Mara revealed, her voice hushed. A power, an ancient technology that has been passed down through the generations. The time has come to unleash it, to use it to protect our way of life. The council members' eyes widened with a mixture of anticipation and trepidation. They had long been aware of the existence of this ancient power, but its true nature and capabilities had remained shrouded in mystery. This technology, this awakening, as we have come to call it, will be our trump card against the Galactic Council, Mara explained, her confidence growing with every word. It will grant us the power to defend our planet, our people, and our freedom. The council members murmured in approval, their spirits lifted by the prospect of wielding such a formidable weapon against their would-be oppressors. But even as their excitement grew, Mara's expression darkened. However, we must be cautious, she warned. The power we possess is not to be taken lightly. It is a double-edged sword, capable of both great good and great destruction. We must wield it with the utmost care, lest it consume us as well. The council members nodded solemnly, understanding the gravity of the situation. They knew that their very future, the future of the human civilization, rested on their ability to harness this ancient power. As the Galactic Council's diplomatic envoy approached the human homeworld, Mara and her council members set to work, activating the mechanisms that would awaken the long-dormant technology. The ground trembled, and the air crackled with energy as the ancient systems came to life, their power radiating outward in a display of might. The Galactic Council's envoy, led by the imposing figure of Scythe, watched in awe and trepidation as the humans' defenses sprang to life. They had not anticipated such a formidable response, and the realization that the humans possessed technologies far beyond their own understanding sent a chill down their spines. Scythe's voice, once so commanding, now carried a hint of uncertainty. Humans, we come in peace, as representatives of the Galactic Council. We seek to establish diplomatic relations and welcome you into our fold. Mara's response, delivered with unwavering resolve, echoed across the vast expanse of space. Galactic Council, your offer is rejected. We are not interested in joining your fold. We are humans, and this is our world. If you dare to threaten us, then you will face the full might of our ancient power. The Galactic Council's envoy, stunned by the humans' defiance, quickly retreated, their ships barely escaping the planet's defensive systems. As they raced back to the council chambers, a sense of foreboding weighed heavily upon them. The humans, once thought to be a mere curiosity, had now revealed themselves to be a force to be reckoned with, and the Galactic Council, for all their power and influence, had underestimated the strength and determination of this enigmatic civilization. The stage was set for a confrontation unlike any the galaxy had ever seen. The humans had awakened, and they were ready to fight for their freedom, no matter the cost. The Galactic Council's assault, a clash of powers. The Galactic Council chambers were a maelstrom of activity as the representatives grappled with the startling revelation from the human homeworld. Scythe, his carapace still tinged with the residual energy of the humans' defensive systems, stood before the assembled council, his voice grave. The humans have rejected our offer of diplomacy, Scythe reported, his tentacles twitching with a mixture of frustration and alarm. They have threatened us with the full might of their ancient power, a power we clearly underestimated. Astra, the diplomatic matriarch of the Cerulean Concordate, raised a delicate hand, her scales shifting with concern. This is most troubling news. If the humans are indeed in possession of such formidable technology, then we must reconsider our approach. Confrontation could lead to catastrophic consequences for the entire galactic community. Zur, the gruff strategist from the Krath Dominion, slammed his tentacles against the table, the sound echoing through the chamber. Reconsider. Bah! We cannot afford to show weakness in the face of this challenge. The humans have defied us, and they must be brought to heel. We must strike swiftly, with the full force of the Galactic Council's might. The debate raged on, the representatives divided on the appropriate course of action. Some, like Astra, advocated for a more cautious, diplomatic approach, while others, like Zoyer, demanded a decisive and overwhelming military response. Amidst the chaos, the extremist faction led by Zul, the ruthless commander from the Thulian hegemony, gained traction. The time for diplomacy has passed, Zul growled, his eyes gleaming with a predatory intensity. We must crush the humans before their ancient power poses a threat to the very fabric of our civilization. Xylof's gaze hardened, his resolve strengthening in the face of Zul's impassioned rhetoric. The humans have left us no choice. We must act. And we must act now. Prepare the fleets. We will launch a full-scale assault on the human homeworld. The chamber erupted into a cacophony of voices, some expressing approval, others voicing concerns. But Xylof's decision had been made, and the Galactic Council was now committed to a course of action that would forever alter the balance of power in the galaxy. As the Council's fleets amassed at the edge of the human system, the tension in the air was palpable. Mara and the human High Council watched the approaching armada, their resolve hardening with each passing moment. They have come to subjugate us, to strip us of our freedom, Mara said, her voice laced with a sense of grim determination. But we will not go down without a fight. Activate the awakening. Let the Galactic Council know the true might of the humans. The ancient systems hummed to life, the ground trembling as the humans' defenses sprang into action. Massive energy shields enveloped the planet, while powerful cannons and missile batteries took aim at the invading fleet. The Galactic Council's forces, led by Xylot's flagship, unleashed a barrage of devastating firepower, their advanced technology, and sheer numerical superiority, seeming to overwhelm the humans' defenses. Explosions rocked the planet's surface, and the air crackled with the energy of the exchange. But as the onslaught continued, a curious thing began to happen. The humans' defenses, once thought to be vulnerable, proved to be remarkably resilient, able to withstand the Galactic Council's relentless assault. Energy shields flared, deflecting even the most powerful of weapons, while the planet's countermeasures systematically targeted and disabled the Council's ships. Tyloth, his composure beginning to crack, barked orders to his subordinates. Concentrate all firepower on the shield generators. We must break through their defenses at all costs. The Galactic Council's forces redoubled their efforts, pouring everything they had into the assault. But no matter how hard they pushed, the humans' defenses held firm, leaving the invaders frustrated and increasingly desperate. Mara watched the unfolding battle from the command center of the human High Council, a faint smile tugging at the corners of her lips. The Galactic Council has underestimated us once again. Their technology, for all its might, is no match for the power we have awakened. As the stalemate dragged on, the Galactic Council's representatives back in the chambers exchanged uneasy glances. The once confident facade was crumbling, replaced by a growing sense of dread and uncertainty. The humans, it seemed, were not the easy target the Council had anticipated, and the price of their ambition was now becoming all too clear. The human counterattack, turning the tide of the battle. Mara, the resolute leader of the human High Council, stood before a holographic display, her gaze unwavering as she studied the unfolding battle between the humans and the Galactic Council's invading forces. Despite the Council's overwhelming military might, the humans' defenses had proven remarkably resilient, fording the relentless barrage of firepower. Mara knew that this was only a temporary reprieve, and that the Council would not be deterred so easily. They will not stop until they have broken our will, Mara said, her voice tinged with a sense of determination. We must take the fight to them, before they have a chance to regroup and mount a more coordinated assault. The other Council members nodded in agreement, their expressions grim but resolute. They knew that the fate of their civilization hung in the balance, and that they could not afford to play a purely defensive game. Activate the secondary systems. Mara commanded, her eyes narrowing as she studied the holographic display. It's time we showed the Galactic Council the true extent of our power. The council members sprang into action, their fingers flying across the consoles as they initiated a series of complex protocols. The ground began to tremble, and the air crackled with the energy of the humans' ancient technology. As the Galactic Council's forces continued their relentless assault, they were caught off guard by a sudden and unexpected counterattack from the humans. Powerful energy beams lanced out from the planet's surface, targeting the Council's flagship and its surrounding support vessels. Stylov, the Vothian leader, watched in dismay as his ships were systematically disabled, their shields and weapons systems crippled by the devastating barrage. "What sorcery is this?" he roared, his tentacles flailing in a rare display of panic. The Galactic Council's forces, once so confident in their superiority, found themselves on the defensive, struggling to withstand the humans' unexpected onslaught. Their communication systems were jammed, their movements disrupted by intricate electronic warfare tactics, and their attempts to mount a cohesive counter-offensive were thwarted at every turn. Mara observed the unfolding chaos with a sense of grim satisfaction. The Galactic Council has underestimated us for the last time. Now they will learn the true cost of their ambition. As the battle raged on, a growing number of council representatives began to question the wisdom of their decision to attack the humans. Astra, the diplomatic matriarch of the Cerulean Concordate, leaned forward in her seat, her scales shimmering with a hint of concern. "We must recall our forces," she urged, her voice laced with a sense of urgency. "This battle is not going as we had planned. The humans have proven more resourceful and capable than we ever imagined." Zur, the gruff strategist from the Krath Dominion, slammed his tentacles against the table, his expression twisted with a mixture of frustration and disbelief. "Recall our forces. Unthinkable. We cannot afford to show weakness in the face of the human challenge. We must press on, no matter the cost." The chamber erupted into a heated debate as the representatives argued passionately for their respective positions. Some, like Zul, the ruthless commander from the Thulian hegemony, remained steadfast in their determination to crush the humans, while others, like Astra, pleaded for a more prudent and cautious approach. Mara and the Human High Council watched the unfolding drama with a sense of grim satisfaction. They knew that the Galactic Council was now on the brink of a decisive fracture, their unity and resolve crumbling under the weight of the humans' unexpected resistance. "The Galactic Council is divided," Mara said, her voice calm and measured. "We have sown the seeds of doubt and discord within their ranks. Now it is time to deliver the final blow." The Human Council members exchanged determined glances, their fingers flying across the consoles as they prepared to launch the next phase of their counterattack. The humans had awakened, and they were ready to rewrite the rules of the Galactic Order. The fate of the Galactic Council, and perhaps the entire galaxy, now hung in the balance. The Galactic Council's collapse. Fractures and revelations. The Galactic Council chambers were in a state of disarray as the representatives struggled to come to terms with the unfolding events on the human homeworld. Xylov, the once confident leader of the Vothian Empire, paced the floor, his carapace glistening with a sheen of anxiety. "Our forces are being decimated," Tylov growled, his tentacles coiling and uncoiling with barely contained frustration. "The humans' defenses are impenetrable, and their counterattack has thrown our entire operation into chaos." Astra, the diplomatic matriarch of the Cerulean Concordate, raised a delicate hand, her scales shifting with a hint of concern. "I warned you that this course of action was unwise. The humans have proven themselves to be far more capable than we ever imagined. We must reconsider our strategy before it's too late." Zur, the gruff strategist from the Krath Dominion, slammed his tentacles against the table, his expression twisted with a mixture of rage and disbelief. "Reconsider? Bah! We cannot afford to show weakness in the face of the human threat. We must redouble our efforts, pour every last resource into crushing them once and for all." The chamber erupted into a cacophony of voices as the representatives argued passionately for their respective positions. The once unified Galactic Council was now a fractured and divided body, its members at odds with one another as they grappled with the unexpected turn of events. Amidst the chaos, Zul, the ruthless commander from the Thulian hegemony, stood tall, his eyes gleaming with a predatory intensity. "The time has come to take drastic measures," he declared, his voice cutting through the din. "The humans have proven themselves to be a threat to the very fabric of our civilization. We must eliminate them by any means necessary." Stylov's gaze hardened, and he turned to Zul, his tentacles twitching with a hint of uncertainty. "What are you proposing, Zul?" Zul's lips curled into a twisted smile. "We must use our most devastating weapons, our ultimate deterrents. We must show the humans the true price of their defiance." Astra's eyes widened, her scales darkening with a sense of dread. "You can't be serious, Zul. Such actions would be a catastrophic escalation, one that could tear the Galactic Council apart and plunge the entire galaxy into chaos." Zir's tentacles coiled tighter, his expression hardening. "Astra has a point, Zul. We must consider the consequences of our actions. If we go down this path, there may be no turning back." The chamber fell silent, the representatives exchanging uneasy glances as they grappled with the implications of Zul's proposal. The fate of the Galactic Council, and perhaps the entire galaxy, now hung in the balance. As the debate continued, a growing number of representatives began to question the true motives behind the Council's assault on the humans. Whispers of hidden agendas and uncovered secrets began to circulate, sowing further discord and mistrust within the once unified body. Astra, her diplomatic skills honed over centuries, leaned forward, her voice carrying a sense of urgency. "We must pause and reflect on the true reasons for our actions. Have we been misled? Is there more to this conflict than we have been led to believe?" Stylov's expression darkened, and he turned to face Astra, his tentacles twitching with a hint of unease. "What are you implying, Astra?" Astra's gaze was unwavering. "I believe it is time we examine the Council's own history, its past dealings, and the true nature of our relationship with the humans. Only then can we hope to understand the root causes of this crisis and find a path forward that does not lead to devastation." The chamber fell silent once more, the representatives contemplating Astra's words with a growing sense of unease. For in that moment, the foundations of the Galactic Council began to tremble, and the realization dawned that the true threat might have been lurking within their own ranks all along. As the debate raged on, the fate of the Galactic Council hung in the balance, with the humans' resolute defiance serving as a catalyst for the unraveling of the once stable galactic order. The human victory, seizing the reins of destiny. Mara, the resolute leader of the Human High Council, stood before the holographic displays, her expression a mixture of determination and cautious optimism. The humans' counterattack had thrown the Galactic Council into disarray, and the once formidable invading force was now in shambles. "The Galactic Council's grip on the galaxy is slipping," Mara declared, her voice calm and measured. "Their unity has been shattered, their tactics disrupted at every turn. Now, it is time for us to seize the initiative and chart our own destiny." The other council members nodded in agreement, their eyes fixed on the constantly updating tactical displays. They had watched with a sense of grim satisfaction as the Galactic Council's forces struggled to regain their foothold, their desperate attempts to mount a cohesive offensive thwarted by the humans' relentless onslaught. "The Galactic Council is on the verge of collapse," Mara continued, her gaze sweeping across the assembled council. "We have a unique opportunity to reshape the galaxy, to forge a new era of cooperation and mutual understanding. But we must tread carefully, for the path ahead is fraught with uncertainty." The council members exchanged thoughtful glances, their minds racing as they contemplated the implications of Mara's words. They knew that the fate of their civilization, and perhaps the entire galaxy, now rested in their hands. "What are our options?" one of the council members asked, his voice tinged with a hint of caution. Mara's expression hardened, her eyes narrowing as she considered the question. We can continue our assault, pushing the Galactic Council to the brink of total defeat. Or we can offer them a chance at redemption, a path towards a negotiated settlement that preserves the stability of the galactic order. The council members fell silent, weighing the merits of each approach. Some argued for a more aggressive stance, believing that the Galactic Council could never be trusted and must be completely dismantled. Others, however, advocated for a more diplomatic approach, recognizing the need to maintain a delicate balance of power in the galaxy. Mara raised a hand, silencing the debate. We will offer the Galactic Council a chance at redemption, she declared, her voice carrying a sense of authority. But we will do so from a position of strength, with the understanding that they must abide by our terms if they wish to avoid total annihilation. The council members nodded in agreement, their expressions reflecting a mix of cautious optimism and steely resolve. They knew that the path ahead would be filled with challenges and potential pitfalls, but they were prepared to confront them head-on. As the humans' envoys approached the beleaguered Galactic Council, the representatives of the once formidable alliance found themselves in a position of weakness. Thyloth, his carapace bearing the scars of the fierce battle, listened to the humans' demands with a sense of resignation. We will accept your terms, Thyloth said, his voice heavy with the weight of defeat. The Galactic Council is in no position to refuse. We will work to restructure our alliance, to forge a new era of cooperation and mutual understanding. Astra, her scales shimmering with a hint of relief, stepped forward, her diplomatic skills shining through. We are grateful for your offer of redemption, humans. We understand that we have much to learn, and we are committed to working alongside you to build a better future for the galaxy. The negotiations were tense, with both sides carefully navigating the delicate balance of power. But in the end, a compromise was reached, one that would reshape the very foundation of the Galactic Council and its relationship with the humans. As the agreement was finalized, Mara and the Human High Council watched the proceedings with a sense of cautious optimism. They knew that the path ahead would not be an easy one, but they were prepared to face the challenges head-on, confident in their ability to forge a new and more just galactic order. The humans have risen, Mara declared, her voice carrying a hint of pride. We have proven our worth, our resilience, and our determination to shape our own destiny. Now, it is time to build a better future, one that reflects the values and aspirations of all the peoples of the galaxy. With the Galactic Council now under the humans' influence, the stage was set for a new era of cooperation and mutual understanding. The once reclusive humans had emerged from the shadows, ready to take their place as a guiding force in the galaxy. A new dawn, building a brighter future. The aftermath of the conflict between the humans and the Galactic Council left the galaxy in a state of flux. The once formidable alliance had been shattered, its members forced to confront the consequences of their actions and the depth of their mistrust. Mara, the resolute leader of the Human High Council, stood at the forefront of the new order, her unwavering gaze sweeping across the assembled representatives from the former Galactic Council. Gone was the air of apprehension and uncertainty that had once permeated their interactions. In its place, a newfound sense of cautious optimism and a willingness to embrace change. The Galactic Council, as we once knew it, is no more, Mara declared, her voice carrying a weight of authority. In its place, we will forge a new alliance, one that embraces the diversity and autonomy of our civilizations, while also fostering a shared vision of peace, prosperity, and mutual understanding. The former council members, once bitter rivals, now listened with rapt attention, their expressions a mixture of trepidation and curiosity. Tyloth, the once stern leader of the Vothian Empire, stepped forward, his tentacles uncoiling in a gesture of openness. We have much to learn from you, humans, Tyloth said, his deep voice tinged with a hint of humility. Your resilience, your determination, and your unwavering commitment to freedom have shown us the flaws in our own system. We are here to listen, to collaborate, and to build a future that benefits us all. Astra, the diplomatic matriarch of the Cerulean Concordate, nodded in agreement, her scales shimmering with a sense of optimism. The path ahead will not be an easy one. But I believe that together, we can create a galaxy where all civilizations can thrive, unencumbered by the shackles of fear and oppression. The discussions that followed were marked by a newfound spirit of cooperation and openness. The humans, once viewed as an enigmatic threat, now found themselves at the center of the galactic community, their expertise and insights sought after by their former adversaries. As the negotiations progressed, it became clear that the humans had no intention of dominating or subjugating the other civilizations. Instead, they sought to establish a network of alliances built upon the principles of mutual respect, technological exchange, and cultural enrichment. Mara, ever the pragmatic leader, outlined the humans' vision for the future. We do not seek to replace the Galactic Council, but to transform it into a new entity, one that truly represents the diverse aspirations of all the peoples of the galaxy. We will work together to dismantle the structures that once divided us, and to build a future that benefits us all. The former council members, once wary and distrustful, began to warm to the humans' proposals. They recognized the wisdom in Mara's words and the potential for a more equitable and stable galactic order. As the negotiations reached their conclusion, a new alliance was forged, one that transcended the boundaries of the old Galactic Council. The human civilization, once seen as a reclusive anomaly, now stood as a pillar of the galactic community, its influence and expertise wielded to guide the path towards a brighter future. Xyloth, his carapace gleaming with a newfound sense of purpose, reached out to shake Mara's hand, a gesture that once would have been unthinkable. Together, we will build a galaxy where all civilizations can thrive, where the pursuit of knowledge and the preservation of freedom are the guiding principles. Mara's lips curled into a faint smile, her eyes reflecting a sense of pride and cautious optimism. Indeed, Xyloth, the humans have awakened, and with our allies, we will shape the course of the galaxy for generations to come. As the representatives of the new alliance dispersed, a sense of hope and renewed energy permeated the air. The scars of the past would not be easily forgotten, but the promise of a brighter future was too compelling to ignore. The humans, once reclusive and wary, had emerged from the shadows, ready to take their place as a guiding force in the galaxy. And with their newfound allies by their side, they were poised to usher in a new era of cooperation, innovation, and lasting peace. The galaxy, once on the brink of collapse, now stood on the threshold of a remarkable transformation, one that would redefine the very nature of the interstellar community. And at the heart of this change, the humans stood tall, their determination and resilience serving as a beacon of hope for all who sought a future free from the shackles of fear and oppression.